Hello and welcome to CMMU. This is going to be a brief orientation, and if you would like any additional information, feel free to ask most anybody, but academic affairs would certainly have most of the information. Reception would probably be able to help answer most questions as well. So one of the most important things is to get your ID card and make sure that you never forget to bring it, because you need it for parking your car if you drive, and most importantly, you need it to open the doors. So if you want to get through the doors, unless other people are walking in at the same time, you may find yourself stuck. Anyway, I think once you get used to it, most people hang it around their neck. I put it in my wallet, but anyway, don't forget it. Your student ID card. I haven't seen Mr. Pitt for a while, but anyway, you can use this for making photocopies and otherwise, yeah, as I said, opening any of the doors. CMMU is on Wipawati Road. I think you probably know this by now, but it's very close to Dindang. If you're coming from the Victory Monument and heading north towards Lat Pral, we're right next to the Shell gas station, which is right next to the Mercedes-Benz dealer. 02206-2000, that reaches the operator, the reception. There's also a shuttle van, which comes from the BTS and then can also take you back to the BTS, whether you're taking the BTS or not. It runs every day, and you can track where it is using this app. It's free. You're allowed to have two different cards registered to your ID card. Again, another reason not to forget your ID card. And the most important thing is that you're not allowed to leave your car overnight. You know, if you had a really special request situation, it might be possible, but basically they have a fee if you end up leaving your car overnight. So keep that in mind. But otherwise, if for some reason you do forget your ID, you just take the paper slip and then, you know, you can see if you can get it stamped. But otherwise, they're probably going to try to charge you a little bit. Also, the area to get your card, if you need to replace it, is in the basement, in the parking area. So down where they have the mini mart, if you actually go into the parking garage, there's a door there, and that's where they're at, who can produce the security ID cards. These are the different areas and timings. So again, we have reception, that's also lost and found. I observed that a lot of students like to sit and work together in the reception area. You also have areas on the second floor, the third floor, the fifth floor, a little bit on the sixth, of course, the library on the seventh floor. So you have a combination of some lounge areas, classrooms, and then what we call syndicate rooms, which I'll tell you about in just a moment. IT can really help you a lot. We have a group of people. They can help you install software if you need it. Mahidol provides software such as Microsoft Office, EndNote, SPSS, even Adobe Creative Suite, which is a pretty expensive software package. So if you have interest in that sort of thing, talk to IT and they can guide you. Maybe for the studious, the 7th floor is important, but I'd say for all students, the 10th floor is very important. Academic affairs. So a lot of this you can actually conduct through your phone or through the computer, but basically any kind of paperwork in terms of if you need to request time off, if you want to change your class, anything like that, academic affairs. And as you go up, we have faculty on the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th floors, and the dean's office is on the 15th floor. What I mentioned, syndicate rooms, I'm not sure why they're called syndicate rooms, but it sounds cool, right? Syndicate rooms are basically private rooms which students can reserve. and then you can use these rooms to work together, study, whatever it is that you need to work on. And they're kind of scattered throughout the building. So as I just said, there's one on the 5th floor, there's a couple on the 6th floor, there's a couple on the 7th floor, 8th floor, 9th floor, and yeah, that's it. Basically, it's kind of a private co-working space. If you need photocopies, you can use the copy shop down in the basement. You just tell them what and how many and when. And if you need to print, you can print on the 3rd floor, and I think sometimes on the 5th and 6th floor. I think the 7th floor of the library. You have a certain number of print jobs allocated to you through your ID card. Right, I think the information's right there. We also have Wi-Fi. We have Wi-Fi on campus. You have your Mahidon account if you're interested. They also have storage available. So if you need more information, just check with IT or check with Academic Affairs. They should be able to help get you set up. It's important to keep track of those passwords, though, because we have computers in each of the classrooms and also on different floors, and you need that if you want to log in. So sometimes if you're going to give a presentation and you're going to use the desktop in the classroom, you may have to log in or get someone to help you log in. So even if you don't really use your Mahidon account, which I think you will because you'll have the e-learning system, pre-registration. Anyway, I'm just saying try to keep track of your account and your password because you'll need it. Here are some of our different websites. We have a Facebook page in addition to our website. We generally have a line group for students and encourage you to create your own line groups within your class or within your specialization. Information like the dates of the term would be inside CMMU. They have an area for current students. It'll have the academic calendar. E-learning is what we use within our classes. So sometimes they're going to post material, notes, maybe links to videos, or maybe actual video clips. So you'll end up using e-learning quite a bit. And I would say the website maybe is not quite updated as often as the Facebook page. But we also have video screens throughout the building, and it'll have kind of current issues and events up on the screen. The screens will also tell you what classes are running, who the instructor is, and what classroom, in case you don't remember, and you show up looking for your class. Please keep us updated if you change your email or you change your phone number. Otherwise, you won't be updated when we're trying to reach students. Activities, yeah, it kind of depends on the current events. So with COVID, our events have been a little bit restricted, but anyway, we'll tell you more about these as we kick off the term. We generally have get-together sessions, information sessions, so you'll have all kinds of opportunities to learn about exchange programs and any kind of opportunities we have, like company visits or guest speakers. You can update your own information. If you have any trouble, again, you can ask either Academic Affairs or the IT people. They can help, no problem. And they have created Line, which is really convenient, so you can handle a lot of the paperwork through these apps rather than having to get the actual paper. Makes it a lot faster and easier than having to come to campus and go to the 10th floor, but up to you. So this could be if you want to add a class, if you want to drop a class, if you want to maybe take a term off, anything like that. You've got the forms to fill out. If you're not Thai and you need a visa, the Academic Affairs 10th floor, there's quite a few people who work there, educators and staff. They can help. Pretty much anyone can help. General email, CM service I think you'll come to know your own coordinators for your programs, and probably you'll mainly talk with them, but again, anyone can actually help. There is a student handbook. This is kind of like the rules and regulations. So it's going to be important if for any reason you have a request that, goes against the book. Let's say, for example, if you want to change your specialization, you can do that in the first term. No problem. But if you've passed the first term and you really, really want to change your specialization, yeah, that goes against kind of the rules in the student handbook. And you could create a request and they would take it to a committee. So it's not impossible, but not recommended. There are pretty serious graduation requirements, though. I think some of them have already been communicated, like the English language, as well as your GPA. We run on a trimester at CMMU, so that means you really don't have a lot of break, and that's on purpose because we feel that most people studying for their master's degree would like to finish as quickly as possible. Most people are working and studying, and I'm sure everyone likes a break, but you don't need like a 3-month break the way a semester would have. So generally students take 2 to 3 classes. Most people take 3. So that's 9 credits. And if for some horrible reason your GPA falls below 3.0, you'd be limited to 2 classes. If you're really busy and you want to just take 2 classes, that's fine, not a problem. But in general, people take about a year and a half, so generally 5 terms, taking 3 classes per term. There is a time limit though, so pretty rare, but sometimes if people take time off or for some reason they don't finish something like their thesis or their independent study, sometimes that time limit starts to get closer and we have to send out a warning. Not all classes have a midterm, but generally it's about the 7th week. And so 1 term is 14 weeks. Again, GPA is a really serious issue. You have to maintain a 3.0 or higher to be in good student status, standing, whatever. If you fall below 3, then you're on probation. And if you're on probation for 2 terms in a row, you'd be retired. If you're retired, basically, you'd have to reapply. And for any of the classes which you'd had a 3.0 or higher, you should be able to bring those back in. Try not to let this be your scenario. If you feel like you're struggling, withdraw. Try to withdraw if time still permits so that you don't get a bad grade. Generally, if there's a midterm, you're going to get the feedback and you still have the add drop period. And you can maybe talk with the instructor and get their opinion. What do they think? Should you try? Should you withdraw? But it is a dangerous scenario. Once you're on probation, that means getting a 3.0 is not good enough because you have to lift the GPA to be higher than 3.0. So it's actually kind of a double whammy. It puts more weight. Matriculation means graduation. So you have I believe, you have a fee. So you can take some time off, but you're not allowed to take more than 2 unless there's a real special situation. And something like exchange program, that's not time off. You're still studying. So you want to maintain active student status. And basically, the longer you take, it's going to cost a little bit more. I mentioned this just a minute ago, but if you want to change your specialization, you can. We generally request that you talk to the program chair to explain your interest and sort of just get to see if you're comfortable with each other. We're not able to change between Thai and international programs, so if that sort of situation comes along, you basically have to redo the entire process. They do have a system of late fees, so be careful about that. I think in general we encourage you to use SCB, but I think that's pretty flexible as well. So this is kind of a standard rule across all universities, but you are expected to come to class at least 80% of the time. There are often activities in class. There may be quizzes, and so if you're not there, you may lose points. And of course, if you're not there, then you're not as well prepared when you're taking quizzes or exams. I would always recommend that you talk to your instructor. You know, if something's coming up, if you know in advance that you have a trip or whatever, you know, some sort of conflict. After COVID kicked in, a lot of classes now have options for online material, so that might be an option as well. But some classes, as I said, have quizzes or exams, and if you are missing that, you might just lose the points, or they might have a deduction if you take a makeup. So the English tends to be one of the most common issues. And again, this is a law in Thailand. It's not really up to us, but basically, you need to make sure that you reach a TOEFL equivalent of 520 or higher. And if you do not, you will not be able to graduate, even if you had a 4.0. So this is serious, and it does happen. Not terribly often, happily, but it's, you know, it's not easy to take these exams, and you might consider something like a tutorial school for TOEFL just to help you get those exam scores, because it's not really about just your spoken and written English. It's just about the score. Okay, so we have a couple of options. I think the main criticism of the MU test is that they want you to go to Salia to take it, but otherwise it's a lot cheaper than the other exams, to my knowledge. For those who had lower than 520, we have the English pre-course, and for those who don't have a lot of accounting background, recent accounting background, we have a pre-course for that as well. So basically, maintain a GPA, grade point average, of at least 3.0, have to pass, pass or fail classes. They have a pass, a high pass, or don't pass, unsatisfactory. Those would be for like the CP modules. And if you choose to take something like an independent study or a thesis, those are either pass, high pass, or not pass. There is a written comprehensive exam. Most students would take this around the third term. If you choose the independent study or thesis, you have a proposal defense and a thesis defense. If you take thematic paper, you do have a written report to submit and also a 5-minute presentation, not a big one. But basically, you have to finish all of these things and then you're ready to graduate. Probably the two most dangerous things are GPA under 3 and not getting the English language passed. Also, plagiarism or cheating. That's a quick trip to the exit door. Not allowed. You know, in the academic world, that is forbidden. You cannot be caught, so don't do it. Again, these rules are in the student handbook. Consider that sort of like your contract with the university. So get familiar. Again, if you need any help, talk to anyone. Instructors, we're always happy to help, mainly full-time instructors, faculty. Check the academic calendar so you're aware of what's going on. Check the e-learning regularly so that you know if there's any announcements or any assignments or materials for your classes. And check the Facebook page, check the website page. Be careful. Sometimes these announcements end up going to your junk mail, so you want to try to make sure that that's fixed and recognized. And they do have the line groups if you would like to join. That'll also give you some information pretty quick and easily. So these upcoming dates, just be aware. Pre-registration is first come, first serve, so you definitely want to get up early and log in and try to, sign up for the classes on the days and times that you want. Hopefully you get them. And then that's also kind of supply and demand. So sometimes if a lot of students apply for a certain course, they may split it into 2 groups. And if for some reason not enough students sign up for a course, they may not open it that term. Generally, the term begins on Friday. So if you don't have a Friday class, then your class is going to be after that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You'll see it's generally somewhere between the 11th and the 15th of the month, about the middle of the month. That link there will take you to the academic calendar, or you can dig it out yourself in the website, the part for current students. So this is more specific for this coming term, but basically, generally you're going to have about 6 weeks of class and then midterm. But again, some courses don't have a midterm, so it depends. And then you'll repeat and then have the final exam. There is some food available, but if you're in a rush, you might try to bring something with you. There's also the mini mart next door. If you'd like to download this presentation, you can get it from this location. And otherwise, again, welcome to CMMU. We're really looking forward to having you with us and hope that you enjoy your studies and meet a lot of new friends and have a great time. Proud to have you, and I hope you'll be proud to be a part of CMMU. Good luck with your studies.